from the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg. This is a special edition of Inside Government with Cedric Peterson.
To our audience here at home and around the world, you're now Inside Government. We welcome you to this special edition of the program, where today we're going to focus on a critical topic, fire safety, as we recognize October as Fire Prevention Month. Joining me in this edition of the program is St. Martin Fire Department's Section Head of Prevention, Preparation, Education, and Training, and he's also a specialist in disaster preparedness and response, Mr. Silvànico Pauletta. Pauletta, it's great to have you back in the program once again in our annual discussion, as this is Fire Prevention Month. How are you, my friend?
Thank you, Cedric, for having me. And I'm looking forward to this session as we highlight prevention, fire prevention, as it's something that touches all of us.
Absolutely. You know, it's all about sharing those insights of the department's efforts in promoting fire safety, you know, key prevention tips for our community, and of course the importance of raising awareness during this dedicated month for yourself and your colleagues in fire department work. Let's get started. General safety questions. What are the most common causes of fire in St. Martin?
In St. Martin, we have different types of fires. We have building fires, we have car fires, we have garbage fires, and we have bush fires.
Okay.
And the fires that we have the most are inside of buildings. As a matter of fact, last year we responded to over 56 building fires. This includes homes, but also businesses.
Okay. So how can residents reduce their risk of fire in their homes? What would the advice be?
Great question. First of all, you got to understand what are the main causes of fire. Usually, we have electrical fires, which are caused by overloading of appliances, overloading of outlets, current of outlets.
Right.
It could also be by malfunctioning of an electric equipment, like a simple thing like a fan. Okay. Sometimes you leave your fan plugged in, and it might be on, but it's not spinning. It's building up heat, and that heat eventually causes the fan to catch fire.
Right.
Same thing happens by leaving a charging device in the outlet. You leave it alone. It warms up hot enough so that it could catch fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So first of all, we advise don't leave your appliances in the outlets. Don't leave it in the current. If you don't need it, unplug it.
Right.
Even your TV, you don't use it, unplug it. It might even save you on your GB bill, because by having it on standby, it's still using pop. Yes. Secondly, don't leave flames unattended. That's one thing we advise people. By leaving candles, whether it's candles or whether it's your stove, by leaving it unattended, it can cause a fire. And we have responded to those kind of fires as well by simply leaving a pot on fire, and before you know, it catches the rest of your kitchen.
Absolutely. Silvànico, what are the key components of you kind of touched on a few little points there, but what are the key components of a home fire safety plan?
Great question. Key components are, first of all, limiting the cause of fire at home. As I mentioned just now, making sure that your outlets are not overused, making sure that you don't leave flames unattended. Those are basic rules. But next to that also, you want that in case anything happens, that people can leave the home in a safe manner. So make sure that the exits are not unnecessarily blocked.
Right.
Over these recent years, you might have heard of major casualties abroad where people have died because exits were blocked. School children has lost their lives. Party goers have lost their lives in this course because of security. Exits were locked, but now the same exit that for security reasons you blocked or locked now is actually imprisoning you during an emergency. So make sure that you at least have a plan in place that in case of an incident and fire, that people can quickly escape, if not through the front door, that they have a second exit.
Secondary exit. Yeah, yeah. How often should smoke detectors be tested and replaced?
Yeah. So that's also a part of the plan. Have smoke detectors in your home to be able to warn you in a quick manner if there's anything wrong in the part of the section of the house where you're not at. So we usually advise check your smoke detectors at least once a year and replace the batteries if need be. If not, at least once in the 3 years, replace your batteries.
Yeah, gotcha. Can you explain the importance of having a fire extinguisher at home?
So, yes, so as we're going rapidly through this, indeed, another aspect of having your home fire safe is to have fire extinguishers so that, which are actually, the best fire extinguishers are about 10 pounds of dry chemical, ABC, or you also have the CO2, so the carbon dioxide extinguishers. Those actually, you can use them safely around your computer devices, and that reason we advise is 6 kilograms. But at home, you might be able to use a smaller device, but check it. If you have a professional one, have it tested once a year. And even the one at home, please check that if it's still charged. Please check if not one of the kids kind of play with it and that it might lose its charge. Also, in case you don't have a fire extinguisher, we advise to at least have a fire blanket as well. Fire blankets are very inexpensive and easy to use and they can extinguish a lot of fires, like a fire on a couch or on your bed in an early stage. You just cover it and you tap it out. Also, what we like to advise the people, if you have a kitchen fire, if you're cooking, make sure you have a pot that fits a cover that fits the pot, so that in case you have a fire in the pot, you can always cover it, and it will extinguish by itself.
Gotcha.
Please don't throw water in your pot that's on fire.
Not the best results.
No.
Never. Hey, Silvànico, we don't have much time in this segment with you. I want to jump quickly right into the Fire Prevention Month. This month, October 2024. How is Fire Prevention Month observed in St. Martin? I've noticed this time around you've partnered with the Student Support Services Division. Give us some insight there. How is Fire Prevention Month being observed this month in St. Martin? So
this month in St. Martin, our main event is an open house on the 14th of October, where we're inviting the entire community of St. Martin to come to an exciting day where you can learn about fire safety, you can see what the firefighters are doing, and also so that you can be mindful and cooperate with us, because you are the first responder at any fire at your home or within your vicinity. So here, come to the open house where you can get tips and understand what we will do once we reach by a fire. And most and all, what you can do. That's one. So that's the open house. Next to that also, we're collaborating with Student Support Services who are doing fire drills. And of course, we're supporting that initiative as well. Furthermore, we are also reaching out through media like yours and also other social media. We are reaching out to the community. And we would like to invite the community to like us on Facebook. We have a Facebook that we had a soft launch. Like us on it. There you will see also more tips and tricks and also things that are going on right now surrounding fire safety. And last but not least, the government website. That's the official government website where you also get official information on, in case you want to start a business, what you can do when it comes to fire safety.
Okay. Schools participation is going to be big this time around. Can you tell us the role of the fire department along with student support services and how you are combining your efforts to bring fire prevention awareness using the school system this year?
The thing is, we recognize that children, youths have a very important role when it comes to the household. Parents always take the children very serious. So if a child is properly educated in fire safety, they can play their role in the family as well to raise that awareness on fire safety issues in the home. They will want to know what to do in case of a fire, where to meet. Are we meeting on the mango tree outside in case there's a fire? Daddy, the door is locked. How can I get out in case of a fire? And we're leaving now. Let's not forget to turn off the fan and blow out the candles.
Those are the tips to keep in mind. Silvànico, we're almost out of time, giving you the opportunity now to provide final words to the public of St. Martin in awareness of Fire Prevention Month.
Public of St. Martin and all the rest of the audio listeners, think fire safety. That is our theme. We want you to think fire safety anytime, whether you're at home, whether you're at your business, or whether you're in your car. Think fire safety so that you can continue to enjoy life.
Silvànico Pauletta of the Fire Department. He is the section head of prevention, preparation, education, and training, and specialist in disaster preparedness and response. Silvànico, I want to thank you so much for being a part of this first segment of our special edition of Inside Government, bringing awareness to Fire Prevention Month. And that date, once again, October for the open house?
Monday, October 14, Constitution Day. We're there from 9 to 7, and we will close it off with a nice fireworks show. So come there and be part of it.
Thanks a lot, Pauletta. Great to see you once again, man. Much success with the open house.
Thank you, CJ, for having me. Thank you, radio listeners, for spending your time and listening to what we have to share with you.
And to our radio listeners, television viewers, stay with us as my conversation is going to continue in our next segment with Miss Olga Mussington of Student Support Services Division under the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport. Stay with us. You're Inside Government.
You ever hear earthquake call and say, "Hello, Mr. Mara, it's me. Earthquake coming in Tuesday around 10. No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it comes, it'll shake all the sense and the sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking start and you know it's an earthquake, make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the doorway or any exit, and the stairs that may be broke up or even full of people. Elevator, avoid that because you might get in and then poof, power gone, and you're stuck in a box without air. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls in an earthquake, that is bad news. Take care of yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drops and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, don't bother run outside and ask, "You feel it? You feel it?" Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on.
This public service announcement was brought to you by Sedima and the government of St. Martin.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
Welcome back to our Inside Government program. In this special segment, second segment, we're shifting focus to the support systems in place for students and families in our community. Joining us now is Ms. Olga Mussington from the Student Support Services Division under the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport. Ms. Mussington is here to discuss how SSSD works to provide essential support for students and families, especially in collaboration with the fire department in this upcoming Fire Prevention Month. And during emergencies and throughout the school year, there's some drills that's going to be taking place with the schools in observance of the Fire Prevention Month. Miss Mussington, it's great to have you in the program. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, and it's great to be here.
Olga, we know Fire Prevention Month is in full effect. We're having a conversation, of course, that started in the first segment with Kirk and Silvànico of the St. Martin Fire Department, and now they have indicated that they have partnered with SSSD in order to enhance Fire Prevention Month for the month of October. So what is the role of Student Support Services Division when it comes to fire safety in schools as it relates to Fire Prevention Month this year?
Well, the Student Support Services plays a coordination role when it comes to school safety. And so this year, our focus was on fire safety. So it ended up being a nice partnership because the fire department is one of our partners in school safety. And so this year, our role is to assist schools as they draft their fire SOPs, which are the protocols for fire. And so we have been working with the schools on this area and helping them to prepare for their fire drills because coincidentally, Fire Prevention Month, in that same month, we also have School Safety Week. And so it ended up being a beautiful partnership.
Great. So this year, SSSD organized, I believe I saw in my notes, fire drills, yes. And you got 21 schools with the support of the fire department on board. How did the schools prepare for these drills and how is it working out?
Well, the schools started, of course, first with drafting their SOPs, their standard operating procedures. Okay. In that document, they would then outline what they would have to do, their meeting points that they would have to go to, what they would do at their meeting points, and so exactly how the school should be dealing with a fire. Now, we provided them with a template, but of course, they would fill in the template based on their locality because all of the different school environments are different. Right. And so once we approved these standard operating procedures with the support of the fire department, the schools then went into phase 2, which is then sharing that information with their school community and practicing to evacuate their whole school compound. They then had to come up with a scenario. So some schools, there was a fire in the canteen, and so the students had to evacuate the school premises. One school, there was a bushfire right outside one of the classrooms, and the classroom teacher had to signal that there is a fire, and that then triggered the alarm to evacuate the entire school. And interestingly as well is that we're working with the fire department. We want to see everything from the beginning to the evacuation and return back to the school. And so that means that they have to also call the fire department and inform that there is a fire. Right. And then there they ask them the relevant question. So then there's someone from the fire department in the room to see how that is going. What questions did they ask? How did they answer it? What did they say to indicate that there is a fire? What information did they give to the dispatch? And so we have a huge, probably 10, 15 firemen who comes out with the fire trucks to respond to this drill. And so the schools get a really live experience. And this is then just becomes for them to be able to improve. They get feedback from us, feedback from the firemen, and then now they're able to now incorporate that feedback into their SOPs, into future drills so that they could improve. At the end of the day, it's about safety, the well-being of the entire school community. And so the schools are taking this very serious, Cedric. And so it is going quite well.
Has there been any challenges that any of the schools might have encountered in this exercise? And of course, this serves as the learning curve. Mm-hmm. Can you identify some of the challenges that the schools might have brought up during the fire drill that they saw as areas to improve upon?
Well, yes, some persons got nervous. And also, they know that we were working with the fire department, but they didn't expect to see so many firemen. They didn't expect it to be such a live something. So it wasn't an acting. They thought they would have put on a little skit. It wasn't about that as well. And sometimes, like for instance, at one school, a student went to the bathroom. They had to evacuate, so that student ended up had to be going back in to go in a safety rescue mission. And so the school manager, the head of the set team, sent in a teacher to get a student, and then she became part of because she got caught up as well, and she didn't come back out. And so we're showing them what can happen as well based on what decisions you take in the midst of an emergency. But I think for the most part for the schools, it's just to practice a bit more, practice the whole school evacuation. Some, as I said, some thought we were going to be acting instead of a real drill, so they were going to evacuate the classrooms to the playgrounds. But in a fire, you have to leave the compound.
Right.
And so we had them tell them, no, you have to do a full evacuation of compound. And then something as simple as checking to see how are you going to ensure that you have a full head count, and how quickly you're going to do that head count, because once the fire department comes, the set chair is supposed to let him know that all persons are accounted for. So the fire department would know whether they're on an extinguish mission or a rescue mission if someone is missing. And so getting those times also shorter, so that when the fire department comes, they have the information right away, so they could make a quick decision whether they're going to extinguish or they're going to do a rescue, because there are persons who are still missing on compound. And so those things were new for some schools, and so they now have to get accustomed to it and realize, listen, we have to increase our evacuation times. We have to really look to see how we communicate within the school compound that there is a fire, ensure that the school safety and emergency team set chair is aware that the fire department is notified in a decent time. And key, for those schools who are on public roads, busy roads, and who have to evacuate to these busy roads, the police department may not get there quick enough. So they have to ensure that they have persons with the correct gear and stop signs who would be able to stop traffic so their students can be able to cross the road. And so those are things that we are also working with the schools with.
How do you assess the effectiveness of the fire drills conducted in schools? Are there any metrics that SSSD uses in order to ensure its continued success?
Definitely, yes. We use their SOPs to see how, if they are evacuating or they're executing in accordance with their SOPs. You see, these SOPs form part of the bigger school safety plan. And so these are live documents. These are just not something that you draft and then you put on a shelf. These are large documents, live documents. You have to also ensure that they drill every single year. So some schools would have said, we haven't drilled for 4 years. That is now a thing of the past, because now they have to drill every single year. So to facilitate this, we also, with the help of a consultant for UNICEF, the Netherlands, we work on a drill manual. So now it's their drill Bible. It helps them to understand what they need to do to prepare for a drill, what they do to execute a drill, and also how they evaluate the success of their drill, and who they need to communicate to. And so we have now provided them with a guidebook for drilling, because every single year, all schools must drill. And so although we as SSSD have a drill that we do, last year it was earthquakes, this year is fire, next year it will maybe medical emergencies. And so when we execute a theme for the year, we drill on that theme. But outside of that, the schools are all required to execute drills.
Olga, it's not just the teachers and the students, but I'm thinking parents, community. How do we get both of those bodies, get them involved in supporting fire safety initiatives in schools?
It's so interesting, because this year our theme for School Safety Week is that school safety is everyone's business. I've been saying this for a few years now, and as a matter of fact, St. Martin is the chair of the Caribbean Safe School Initiative. And so I represent the chair, and even when I go and I speak on behalf of the CSSI, which is the region, I always say the same thing: school safety is everyone's business. So everyone says, oh, that become your mantra. And so I'm also making sure that that mantra sticks here in St. Martin as well. And that means that whether you have a child in that school or not, it's all of our responsibility to ensure the safety and well-being of our students. So if you're a driver and you're driving along a school, you have to always ensure that you slow down, because school safety is your business as well. So every one of us have a role to play. The neighbors surrounding the schools. We had the schools look to see what are the certain risks around their schools when they do risk mapping. And so if you're near a restaurant, if you're near to those things who have combustible materials, they have to map these things as well, because these things are a risk to the school as well.
Absolutely.
School bus safety. School bus operators have a role to play as well. Even ensuring that persons, you don't pick up people when you have students in the bus.
Right,
That's something
right.
as simple as that. You know, how you're driving, ensuring the students are all seated. And so it's about all of us. So during School Safety Week as well, we will be sending resources as well to the parents via the schools, various dojos, etc., for them to understand school safety and their role as parents as well in the safety at schools, because you as a parent have as well an eye to keep out. Talk to your kids, how are things going with school safety in schools? And when you hear something or you see something, you can approach the school and say, have a concern regarding A, B, and C, and have the schools work on it. I'll give an example. The Catholic schools, school safety. When you go to a Catholic school, for most of them now, you have to get buzzed in.
Yes.
School safety. And so we have moved a long way in St. Martin since government mandated school safety and moved it on the SSSD in 2018. We have seen an increased effort in schools to pay keen attention to the various aspects. And each year we keep building and building and building.
Olga, this is all the time we have. I'd like to give you the opportunity to provide final words to the public of St. Martin in observation of Fire Prevention Month this year, 2024. You have the floor.
Thank you, Cedric. I would like to encourage the entire school community to participate in the open house that's on the 14th of October at the fire department. Also, School Safety Week takes place from October 14th to October 18th. There will be drills, so be cautious around schools, as well as look out for young people and those interested. On Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m., we will be launching School Safety Talk with some young people, and they will be talking about how does bullying affect school safety. So join us virtually, whether via the Facebook page or our YouTube page, and hear these young people talk, and you can also be part of that discussion. Remember, school safety is not only government's business. It's not only the business of our schools, but it's your business as well. So let's all do our part to ensure that our school communities are safe.
Head of Student Support Services Division, Miss Olga Mussington. Olga, thank you so much for being a part of this special edition of the program.
Thank you.
And to our radio listeners, television viewers, and online viewers, thank you for tuning in and being a part of this special edition of Inside Government. If you've missed my conversation with Mr. Silvànico Pauletta of the St. Martin Fire Department and Miss Olga Mussington of SSSD, a division under the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, about Fire Prevention Month, be sure to catch video on demand at the official Facebook page of the Government of St. Martin. That's facebook.com/SXMGOV. Or be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel of the Government of St. Martin. That's youtube.com/Government of St. Martin. And be sure to hit that subscribe button and keep up to date with all programs coming out of the Department of Communication. And for audio playback, be sure to tune into St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 for audio playback throughout the course of the day. On behalf of my colleagues at the St. Martin Fire Department and the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth, and Sport, and all of us here at the Department of Communication, I'm Cedric Peterson. Thanks so much for tuning in.